Currently, the National Hurricane Center is tracking the potential development of a tropical system in what they call a tropical Atlantic, just outside of the Caribbean, approaching the outer islands.
With a tropical system developing in the Atlantic Ocean, Flagler County Emergency Management is advising you to be ready, just in case.
Flagler County is currently in the 7-day cone of error for a tropical system in the Atlantic. Flagler County Emergency Management Director Jonathan Lord explains the situation.
At this point in time, they don't know for sure if it's going to develop. They've given it a pretty good chance of development, and it may develop anywhere from basically the Caribbean islands all the way up until just north of us. So it's a pretty big area where it may potentially develop.
Lord adds if the system does develop into a dangerous storm, your household should be prepared.
Now is the time to be prepared. Make sure you know if you're in a hurricane evacuation zone. Make sure you have your disaster supply kit stocked up and ready so you're not rushing at the same time as everybody else going to the store later on this week if it does develop and it does threaten us. But as of this time, it's really just about being aware, being prepared, and just keeping an eye on the tropics.
Building a preparedness kit means having enough resources to last a week, including non-perishable food, water, medications, clothing, cash, radios, and batteries. And Lord says to sign up for the Alert Flagler notification system.
Flagler system, it's a free system to anyone living or working in Flagler County. You can sign up for that at flaglercounty.gov/alertflagler.
Jonathan Lord. For Flagler's local morning news, I'm Karen Johnson.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Tuesday, July 30th.
We just need to focus on being good stewards of what we currently have and giving our school and our community something to be extremely proud of.
The Flagler County School Board is considering next year's fiscal budget.
District Superintendent LaShaka Moore says the proposed budget is about $10 million higher than last year's.
It looks as if it's $10 million. Those dollars are the dollars that are reserved for our families that live here in Flagler County that elect to use a voucher system to educate their children.
School Board Chair Will Fury says the budget is funded through state and local revenue with one important caveat.
The public often doesn't understand when we see property values rise, you might think, hey, everybody's getting a windfall here because property values are higher. Well, that's not the case in schools. We're the only taxing district that does not set its own millage rate. Ours is set by the commissioner. And the more we collect locally, the less state dollars we get. So there's always a correction in that to spread the money out evenly throughout the state.
Fury says the school board wants to build the district's reserve funds.
We did find a way to increase our reserves by another $2 million this budget that we're advertising right now. So that's reassuring because, mind you, every payroll, we have 2 per month, every payroll is $4.8 million. And our reserves are right about $9 million right now.
The Flagler County School District currently employs about 2,300 people. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Daryl Moody.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. Florida House Speaker Paul Renner says he's the first in his family to join the military.
So why the Navy? Renner said that nobody else in his family that he knew of fought in a war. He led in the Persian Gulf War, but why did he choose the Navy?
I applied to the Naval Academy, and before I finished my application, fell in love with Davidson College and decided I wanted to be a regular kid through college. They had Army, ROTC, and I just didn't want to do that.
House Speaker Renner said he went Navy. He had an ROTC scholarship to Vanderbilt for the Marine Corps.
So I could have been a Marine officer in the middle of a desert storm instead of a naval officer on a ship in the middle of a desert storm. So that's kind of how life goes.
Renner said he would ultimately serve in intelligence. Paul Renner said growing up in Jacksonville, the Navy made sense. Then he got a nomination from his congressman to the Naval Academy. None of that mattered when he'd fallen in love with Davidson College. Business Minds Coffee Chat with host Jay Shear is on WNZF Saturday mornings at 8:30, and it's on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, a book helps to change a policy. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll. Wake up with Flagler's Morning News. Stay connected with the latest stories and events by visiting WNZF News Radio on Facebook. Watch the Flagler's Morning News video posted every weekday morning and stay informed in Flagler County. Facebook.com/newsradio WNZF.